It isn't often that I get to announce that a visitor from another star system might be passing through our solar system right now. This newly discovered object, known as A2017U1, appears, if its trajectory is indeed hyperbolic, that it is not gravitationally bound to the Sun, meaning that it may have originated in an entirely different star system.
It was a special day when this object was first discovered. We have been waiting for the discovery of an interstellar object for decades, basically.
Sir, there's a meteor headed straight for Langley Falls!
Take it easy, Josen. It's probably nothing.
Also, we're running low on dot matrix ink, and no one sells it anymore.
No!
Looking out into the vastness of the universe, the greatest mystery is right here. Right under our feet. The ultimate aim of all science, to penetrate the unknown. These are the stories that will make you say, what the fuck?
WTF, Gary? WTF? What the fuck does WTF mean? What the fuck? Oh, yeah.
The idea that comets and asteroids from other solar systems could enter ours is not a new one, and indeed was expected to eventually happen.
Well, when I first heard about this interstellar object, it was very exciting just from a scientific point of view that finally there's been an actual observation of such an object.
We know from models of our own Oort cloud that comets tend to get ejected out of the solar system far more often than get deflected into the inner solar system. In fact, the difference is pretty dramatic. Estimates are that as many as 90 to 99% of all comets leaving the Oort cloud are being ejected into deep space.
A number of our survey projects and other observatories immediately turned their telescopes to take observations of this object.
As a result, it seems reasonable to assume that this is the case for other star systems with similar Oort clouds, and that lots of comets, and also asteroids and planets, are wandering interstellar space and could pass through other star systems, including our own. This particular object is thought to be about 160 meters in diameter and somewhat reddish in color. On October 14th, it passed a mere 0.16 AU from Earth, and while that's 15 million miles, it's still quite close on solar system scales. If the object is from another star system, it could be a dead comet or an asteroid. If it were an active comet, it would exhibit a coma as the ice it would contain evaporates. It does not have this, so it must either be a comet that was exhausted in another solar system before being ejected, or originated from its original inner solar system as an asteroid.
This object is simply a piece of another solar system that was expelled, and it has been traveling through interstellar space for hundreds of millions of years, billions of years, we don't know.
From the observations we have so far, it looks like it's a very elongated object, maybe about a quarter mile in length.
We think this object, 2017 U1, is very long, perhaps 400 meters or so long, and very narrow, skinny, perhaps maybe 40 meters or so in the other dimensions. That's a very unusual shape. We don't see that in our solar system. None of the asteroids in our solar system look like that. So it's very puzzling how it could have obtained this shape.
We also see that it's very reddish in color, which indicates that it's been possibly in space a long time and irradiated by not only the light from our sun, but other suns as well.
If it isn't from here, where might this interstellar object have originated? It would probably be impossible to tell, though it's coming from the direction of Vega, a star made famous by the movie Contact, and for being a very bright night sky star. We also know that Vega has lots of dust and material around it, but we will probably never know for sure.
There's still quite a bit to learn about this interstellar object and limited time because it's on its way out of the solar system.
While tantalizing, and one wishes we could capture this object, that would be exceedingly difficult since it's passing through at about 16 miles per second.
It's fading very fast. It's a relatively small object, so it's very dim.
It is possible for Jupiter to capture interstellar comets with its immense gravity, though it's thought to be the only planet that can do this. And, in fact, there are two candidates for this. Both comet Machholz-1 and Hyakutake C 1996b2 have unusual compositions when compared to the solar system's other comets.
We are continuing to try to use NASA assets like the Hubble Space Telescope and Spitzer to take observations to determine more about its size and composition.
Capture, however, won't happen with this object unless, of course, its orbit is shown to be elliptical, in which case it's from here. It might surprise you, however, that this is actually not the closest interstellar material to Earth. We have it down here on the surface. Material from space, some of it interstellar, rains down on Earth constantly in the form of dust, and suspected interstellar grains were collected by the Stardust spacecraft and returned to Earth. Plus, they are also found in primitive meteorites.
NASA's Planetary Defense Coordination Office has a near-Earth object observations program which funds efforts that survey the skies to look for near-Earth asteroids and to calculate their orbits and their trajectories and to determine if any of them might pose a hazard to Earth. And as part of doing that, some amazing discoveries can happen, and the discovery of this interstellar object was one of them.
As our observational capabilities improve, Pan-STARRS has been getting better, other surveys have been getting better. There are a new generation surveys that will come online. We will be detecting more of these in the future.
Unfortunately, this visitor object won't be around for long and is already on its way out, and was far too dim to be seen outside of large telescopes anyway. But the study of captured exocomets or asteroids passing through will offer us an opportunity to learn about the chemical compositions of other solar systems and how they compare to our own.
The Kepler satellite has identified 2,000 planets orbiting other star systems. So tonight, when you look at the night sky, realize that somebody could be looking back at you. Now, if there is a life form out there, they could be literally millions of years ahead of us. The universe is 13.7 billion years old, so 1,000,000 years is nothing compared to the age of the universe. And for the most part, I think they're going to be friendly. But if they are hostile, it would be like Bambi meeting Godzilla if we ever had to fight them.
Why? Why do you say that?
Well, realize that if they're that advanced, they can reach the Earth from a distant star. They are already thousands of years ahead of us in technology. And we would present no military challenge to such an advanced civilization. Now realize for the most part, there are lots of uninhabited planets with resources on them. So if they can reach the Earth, they can certainly reach other planets that are uninhabited. So for the most part, I think they're going to leave us alone. But if one of them is hostile, watch out. We would be a pushover for them. Forget all the Hollywood movies.
You also make the point, too, that if aliens ever did invade, it could be an opportunity, a chance for countries, for nations to get together when they see a common enemy.
That's right. When President Ronald Reagan met Mikhail Gorbachev, Gorbachev was shocked out of his mind that Ronald Reagan said to him, you know, if the Martians ever invade the Earth, you and me would be allies in the fight against the Martians. Well, Gorbachev later wrote that he was floored by that comment, but you know something? Ronald Reagan was probably right. If we are ever invaded by the Martians or some advanced civilizations, we would hunker down. We would get together to fight off the Martians.
And finally, you say you think that if we ever approached by extraterrestrials, it would be likely friendly because they would already have resources somewhere else in the universe. Is it likely that we would have common similarities with any of these other beings based on your research and what you know about these other bodies?
Well, for the most part, I think they would leave us alone. If you're walking down a country road and you see an anthill, do you go down to the ants and say, I bring you trinkets, I bring you beads, I give you nuclear energy, or you just leave the ants alone? So I think that if they are that advanced, they're going to be peaceful. They will have had thousands of years to work out their internal problems of racism, fundamentalism, sectarianism. So I think for the most part, they will have had thousands of years to work out their internal differences. So I think they probably will be friendly, but we have to prepare for the possibility that they aren't.
What the fuck?